Hari Om to everyone. I think last week we have given ourselves 2 questions. Rajima, could you please read out the first question?
What are the various modifications of desire and how does it create mental agitations, sin?
What are the various modifications of desires? And then?
And how does it create mental agitations?
How does it create mental agitations?
Which we have termed as
which we've termed as sin. Right. The discussion emerged from the 27th verse, where we were studying that right from birth, all of us are subjected through delusion and illusion. Which arises from the desire and aversion, which is nothing but our own strong likes and dislikes. Because of our interaction with the world, which is the pairs of opposites. So, when we were discussing this context, how the mind constantly presents itself as a formidable challenge, the mind constantly keeps demanding that the world satisfies you, the world meets your demands, and the world gives you happiness. So the question is, what are the various modifications of desire? I remember saying it. Not only that the modifications of desire that cause mental agitations, in fact, the very desire in itself can be defined as an impulse or an agitation, because that impulse or an agitation arises from a lacuna. The desire arises and exists as long as you have a lacuna. Lacuna means there's some imperfection, something not right within you. And the moment you experience that sense of fulfillment, there is no more desire. So the desire and the sense of fulfillment are inversely proportional. So the more empty you feel within, the more desires your mind generates, rushing you out into the world, expecting the world to fill the void and give you that some sense of satisfaction or satiation. I repeat, your sense of fulfillment and the desires the mind generates are inversely proportional. So the more desires you have means you are not fulfilled within. And the desires that draw you outward makes you seek the happiness outward. So the very first point you may want to jot it down as saying desire itself is an agitation. It arises from a lacuna or an imperfection within, and the desire draws you outward. These are all point one. And in connection to the context, the question, because we're also taking the context of the 27th verse, but then the question as well, what are the modifications of desire? The desire is not left alone by itself. The problem is because of the interaction with the world, it goes through certain modifications. So desire, it's therefore not wrong to say that desire is the platform or the root of all emotions. It stems from that. It's like a plant shoots from the roots, emerges into a tree, but its origin is the roots. Without the root, there is no tree or the leaves or the branches or the fruits, whatever you perceive. It's the unseen root. So all the emotions people, you and I in this classroom who have the benefit of this knowledge could philosophize and understand that, yeah, I understand the desire is the cause of it, but how many people in the world understand that their own desire, their own unseen desire is the cause for the seen manifestation of emotions? This is the missing link where you and I can take to microphones and start, like these Muslims will do the prayer ritualistically in the morning. You take a microphone and start chanting these mantras, start muttering these, so people will loud and clearly hear to you, listen to you. The seen or the manifested emotions that you go through arise from the unmanifest or unseen desire within. That's the explanation, or that's the statement to what we are saying. The second point is desire is the root of all emotions. So all the modifications of emotions you experience arise from your own desire. Now, what are the modifications? Briefly, we can rush through because we were quite familiar. So desire, when it's fulfilled and unfulfilled, it has a certain series of modifications. When your desire is fulfilled, you invariably develop a sense of dissatisfaction. And since you're not satisfied with that success of having met your object of desire, you desire more. So dissatisfaction comes with fulfillment of desire. As they say, dil mange more, no? Koi problem nahi, mange, you want more. So you're not satisfied with what you have. It could be in any aspect of your life. It could have, you can be greedy in the spiritual field also. I want to grow spiritually. I want to read as many books. I want to attend, go to as many ashrams. I want to get blessings from as many swamis. And a buffet going on or what? Spiritual buffet or what? Every visiting swami to town, you go and touch his feet and get his blessings. Greedy, you want more. Let the swami be in his space, you be in your space. Any passing event comes, everybody get excited. Nothing, no tourist destinations have become boring. So any new destination come, first thing you rush and see it. Abba, now it's life is paripurna. Till now you're incomplete. Life is empty without seeing it. I am seeing, Abba, I've seen everything possible in Hyderabad. Huh? You want tourist spots in the name of spirituality, it's become a tourism. Spiritual tourism you all want. Eh? All your unfulfillment within. Can you feel and sense that paripurna just being where you are, not wanting or finding a need to step out to get that experience? There's no need. You can see the whole world in your own room without stepping out of your room. Not that, oh, sir, thank you, sir. I got this mobile and a tab also. So correct, I can connect with the whole world sitting in my room. I'm not talking of that kind of connect here. Huh? That I know. Just take away everything from you and then just be with yourself. It's a different caliber altogether. So first element of desire, dissatisfaction, you want more and more. So lobha, greed comes in. And the moment you get desire fulfilled, you develop a sense of arrogance comes in. And I tell you, they come sooner than you get the object of desire. No sooner you found success, the greed follows. No sooner you found success, arrogance follows. And what are the three reasons Adi Shankaracharya says you get arrogance? Dhanam, Janam, Yavanam. Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam. Not realizing haratini meshat kala sarvam. You don't realize that youth, your following, and your wealth can all be gone in a moment. This is the delusion and illusion you're caught up in. So you feel you are superior, you develop an arrogance, a sense of head weight, suddenly head becomes heavy. Or you become unnecessarily, you feel yourself small to others. You become envious towards people who have got more than you. You become arrogant towards people who are less fortunate than you. Fourth modification, when the desire is fulfilled, you develop bhaya, insecurity. You feel unduly worried what would happen to you, what would happen to your belongings, what would happen to your position, what would happen to your acquisitions. An insecurity which never existed creeps in, and that consumes you. And if you look at nature, nature teaches us a lesson that only the weak are insecure. Even in the wild, if you go, the carnivores, they're not insecure. They are daring. It's only the herbivores. It could even be the biggest land animal is an elephant. It weighs 2-3 tons. A fully grown elephant could weigh 3 tons. And imagine a herd of elephants moving. It's a mass of 20-30 tons marching towards you. And it could be a small, in fact, even in the jungle, it's told the tiger, the king of the jungle, the tiger rarely attacks an elephant. If at all they attack only the little ones. And the little ones are always surrounded by the mother and the aunts and uncles. So they protect. They're very, 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 very close knit, very family bond. So they hardly have any need to fear. But the moment a tiger is passing by or any carnivore passing by at a distance, they are very insecure. They run away. All of them run away. Why are they insecure? Even they just tells that they are weak. In fact, the weak need numbers for security. The strong don't need. So just a point you can ponder, you may know it, but another opportunity to examine, re-examine. You only experience insecurity. Any idea? Who knows the answer? When does one experience insecurity? We are discussing the modifications of emotions all arising from desire. Desire, when it's fulfilled, you go through greed, lobha, you get mother, arrogance, you become envious towards people less, towards people more, and then you develop bhaya, insecurity. The question is, when does one develop insecurity, insecure? Nobody is raising hand. Don't give her the permission. Don't give permission to Tinky Ma. The problem is she has got all my notes with her. That's the reason she has all the answers. I want everyone to be on same platform, no, without any advantage. I think I'd love to hear from Manishi.
Guruji Pranam. The insecurity would arise if there is any sort of imperfection.
Are you in a position to switch on your video?
Currently out of home, so actually there is a reason that there is a difficulty in sharing the video.
But am I talking to the same Manish I know?
Yes, that's right, sir. I used to be regular when we used to have offline classes. I'm the same.
That's the reason I wanted to see you. Your voice sounds so familiar, and that
yes, sir.
Lovely voice you have. That's the reason I said, let me see this man. I've not seen you for a long time. Good to have you back, Manish. Yes, please
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Yes,
because
sir.
Unknown person means I would like to know who is talking. No, now you don't have to on your camera. No problem.
Thank you, sir. So if there is any sort of imperfection, that will lead to a feeling of insecurity, sir. Like I'm just trying to.
Could you come again, please? I'm sorry.
If there is any sort of imperfection, I know that will lead to feeling of insecurity.
Doesn't that apply to desire itself? That's what we said. Desire itself arises when there's an imperfection, and all these emotions. The same applies to greed. The same applies to what is this? Mother. The same applies to matsarya, which is envious. So it could be applicable to all other emotions, to what we have discussed. So to be very precise, I hope you're getting what I'm saying, Manish.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So if we have to be very specific, because what's the cause of insecurity may not be the cause of greed.
Correct.
It's slightly different. So we're being very specific here. All right. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right. Yes. No problem. But good to have you back, Manish, after a long time. Keep coming. Aparagaru.
Guruji, fear of losing something of your own or about others will lead to insecurity. It can be materialistic or whatever it is. Fear of losing something, which you think that it is yours.
Sir, you have only explained the question very clearly, sir. You have done a better job than me. That's all I'll say. The question is, what is the question I asked, sir? Why does one person feel insecure? Insecure means fear of losing. So my question again back to you is, why does one feel the fear of losing something? Sir, I have studied little law also. You can't just go about, சும்மா சொல்றேன் நான் law ஒன்னும் தெரியாது. You may be a better lawyer, but you may be a lawyer. I don't know what's your profession, sir. I'm saying you're repeating the question in another form to me,
So, for example, I have some property or something like that, and somebody is trying to encroach my property, or a fear of, somebody is going to encroach me itself is creating an insecurity, and I start building the perimeter wall or whatever it is.
Nobody is encroaching. The fact that you have an uncompounded property, that thought creeps in the moment you have bought the property.
That's right.
Not that some hooligans have come in and they've already put up a temporary shelter there. No, nothing is there. The fact that there's what would happen if somebody comes? How would I deal with it? Therefore, put a fence, then put an electrocution and put a permanent current there, so nobody can go in. I also can't go in. And the mother fear.
That's right.
This is the question, sir. You are done very good job, sir. To me, you helped me by explaining the question beyond doubt. With an example also now. Now, what's the answer? It's easy. I'm not such an easy person to deal with, sir. Huh?
Well, I have to continue attending your classes to answer right. Give right.
That you see how many brilliant, wise people are there. Some of them have been with me 25 years. You wouldn't want to hear their answers. I tell them, please don't tell that you attended my classes, I'll tell. Because that gives a wrong message about the teacher, guru, No, it's nothing to do with how long you've been with me or the knowledge. It's just trying to make you think, sir. It's just trying to be rational, because these are the emotions that surface, that consume our life. That's what we're examining here.
So there are multiple things which are actually, there are flurry of thoughts within me, why there is a fear or why there is insecurity. It can be basically, how your life has been. What did you face in this world? What kind of, friends you have, what kind of force you have. There are multiple reasons why there is a fear. Or it can be your own manifestation of thoughts. Like, for example, there is in the night time when you switch on the lights, you're not comfortable. That is a fear, and you think that some devil or demon may come and eat you up. So there can be multiple reasons, sir.
Correct, sir. But I will take one answer of yours, sir, from that. Multiple reasons, one answer. I like it very much. Which answer, sir? You said when you switch off light, some ghost will come and the bhaya virkaliya. Fear arises because one reason, because of ignorance. You don't know. Example, in the dark, you don't know what might be lurking there. Especially we are going into an unknown area in the dark, you don't know what's happening. Or in the dark, you are sleeping and suddenly some sound comes. Suddenly there's a fear. Oh, who could that be? What is that? Because you do not know. Ignorance of something causes fear. So actually there are three reasons. Philosophically, you can add more to it. I'll rationalize with you all. But there are three reasons what causes fear. The cause of fear, three reasons. One is ignorance. The second and third, before I say, I would like to listen to Venkatramji. He wanted to come and clarify something. But the way I clarified with you, he quickly removed his hand, sir. Very smart man. He said, Guruji is not in a good mood today. Let's not raise the hand, and quickly removed his hand. But before he removed it, I saw that he raised his hand.
So, Guruji, I think my answer was, if you are not confident about yourself, then
Sir, why are you,
probably-
Venkatramji, why are you not greeting me?
No, that I think I stopped from last time, because
Oh,
we
thank you.
always greet in the
Good.
beginning.
Correct, sir. No, good. No,
I
but I didn't.
overcome that.
No, I didn't see you greeting me today. So how do I know whether you greeted me or not?
No, you can now. Can you see me? Because I am again
now-
at a remote location.
Yeah, I know that.
So yeah, so I was basically, thinking that if you are not confident about yourself, and if you feel that you have acquired anything probably by, I don't know, by fluke or whatever it is, then, this fear is always there, and this insecurity is always there. But if one is confident about oneself, you might lose and then you might again gain back. So, you might not have that fear. So that is what my answer was. But of course, I don't know whether it is the right one or not.
You're coming from a layman's perspective,
Yeah.
which I can understand and relate to. But just going a little deeper into the philosophical reason, which really makes us think, it just clarifies beyond doubt, sir, But I can relate to what you're saying. So,
Okay.
right, sir. Now, okay,
Okay.
the others, anybody in the class know what are the other two reasons that cause fear? We have mentioned it. We have mentioned it earlier. I don't know whether we have put it so explicitly, but I remember. Okay, Sudhakar Garu. Sir, if your answer doesn't fit into those two reasons, there is fine, huh?
Oh, it's okay.
Okay,
But I made it a point not to issue Hari Om, since you
Okay.
already told the other
Yes,
people.
that is okay.
Anyway, but I am
Yes.
compelled. Hari Om.
Old habits don't change that soon, No problem, sir. Hari Om. So long, Chapan, sir.
It is due to the illusion and delusion.
No.
Something which is not there, we are thinking that it is there. Of course, it comes to ignorance only. And because of the illusion, we may develop fear and of losing and fear of. That is what I felt.
Okay.
Illusion or delusion.
Okay. No. In fact, all these emotions put together create a feeling of delusion. You lose your sense of yourself. But the other two reasons for fear are not illusion and delusion, sir. They're not that. Okay? Right. No problem. But good try, sir. Also, no fine. Because you greeted me with Hari Om, that fine also is cancelled. Aparagaru, Chapan, sir.
Guruji, is it fear of outcome also?
Yeah, that is nothing but insecure, isn't it? Fear of losing something, or fear, I don't know, I might not get the object of it.
Ignorance is something you do not know or you're not aware of. So you're creating your own illusions about something. But I know something, and I am and for example, you are asking me a question. I don't know whether I'm going to answer it right or wrong. So basically, a fear of failure, or fear of an outcome, whether I'm being accepted or not. These are the fears, which I feel that they're different from ignorance.
It is certainly. Yes, you have a point. You do have a point, that fear of not able to get what you desired. So fear could arise from that angle. Yeah, that's an interesting point. In fact, it could be a possible reason. But I said, I'm talking of three reasons, primarily philosophically coming, but you can obviously look at it from this perspective as well. All right. Perfect, sir. Yes, you can. So in fact, just to spell it out, the other two reasons which causes fear, one is ignorance, second is otherness. When there is an otherness, there is a feeling of fear. What might happen? Example, you are in an alien country, you're traveling, and you are expected to You're broken off from your tour guide, who is a protected environment. Your tour guide will say he'll pick you up from the airport and he will drop you at the airport. So those 10 days you're in a protective environment. So you don't have to worry. You're in an alien country. But one day you said, no, I want to be on my own. So you just take off by yourself, with your family. You say, I want to explore the city by myself. So you're getting into a cab. And the moment you call for a cab, you see a 6.5 foot, huge, bulky black Negro as a driver. You go into the cab. Suddenly a thought comes. I've told him to go there, take me there. I hope this fellow will not rob me. I hope this fellow doesn't do anything. It's nothing to do with his height and personality. I'm saying you don't identify with. Imagine the same person greets you well and comforts you and say, ma'am, I know the place and I've been there. You're safe with me. And he comforts you immediately. You instantly the fear goes off. But moment you don't identify as a stranger, there's a fear. That's the reason you find people will not leave their belongings if it's in a strange area. But if it's a known person, you say, hey, take care of my belongings. You don't have the doubt or the fear that he will steal something from you. In fact, there's a possibility that your own fellows will steal. All your life, you're only fearful of your own near and dear. Isn't it? In fact, so much what your near and dear do to you, your enemies also will not do to you. How many people destroy their life fighting for their belongings, properties within the family, in fight, constantly, in constant hatred going on. So second reason is otherness. The third reason, which is a very strong reason, is if you lead a selfish life, means if you have procured your object of desire, means whatever you have earned in life through a selfish means, you will find great insecurity. You will have a fear of losing them because you have not earned it in the spirit of service and sacrifice. The fruits of your labor is not with the blessings of others. The fruits of your labor are you have used corrupt, crooked ways and means of acquiring. You have cheated. If you're doing business, you cheat people in business. You want to achieve, get contracts. You have adopted all unethical possible ways and means to get the contracts. So those who are genuinely working, you have cheated that opportunities from them. So how have you earned your resources, or how have you got your job? In fact, something so disturbing that came to me. I've never been in the corporate field. I've never, not a single day I've worked for anyone. So I don't know what it is to be in a job 9 to 5. And I've known of few families when we were in Malaysia. One passing information came to me. How true is that? I do not know. A person sends his wife to sleep with his boss so that he can get the contract or whatever he was seeking, a favor from his boss. I said, it's been a decade now. I've got that. And the thought comes to me, it disturbs. How low can a person go to? How low can you go? Man, are you human or an animal? How gross can you become? Papa, even thinking itself becomes sinful, and people resort to that kind of practices. I don't know what all nonsense happens in the industry. And considering that a few days later, that fellow has got a job, what would be his mental condition having got that job? Would he be able to relish, celebrate that success of his? Would he be able to share the joy with his friends and family? What his mental condition? Completely inflicted with a cancerous disease of sin. See, being sinful is a cancerous disease. You committed ghora karma, the most sinful act. I'm just giving an example. Now, what all would you do to get what you want in life? Lord Rama also had to go and get Sita. What did he do to get Sita? What all he put effort? Was there anything unethical he did? When he wanted to get Sita, did he not get help from the monkey kingdom, the monkey force? Everybody helped him because it was a noble cause to bring back Sita. Every job you do, whether you would take, what route do you take? Whether you take a tamasic route, a rajasic route, or a sattvic route. A person, when he takes extreme, worst is tamas and rajas. Worst is tamas, then next is rajas. So if you have taken a rajasic and tamasic route to get to the object of desire, that would create enormous guilt, that would create a fear of losing because you have got it without you. You have snatched it something from others which you don't deserve it. So there has to be that undercurrent. There's a silent undercurrent of insecurity right throughout because you have not got it the right way. Famous words of Macbeth. I often quote Macbeth in this context. It's so powerful. Macbeth, he had a king, King Duncan. He was promoted to be the chief of the army, something. He was promoted. And in his celebration, the King Duncan calls Macbeth and his family and his entourage to his palace and throws a party for having promoted him. The king promotes him to be the chief of the army and he's celebrating it. You know, Ramji, what his wife told him? Have you watched Macbeth? You should watch it. My God, such a powerful play, such a powerful play. You know what his wife whispered to him that evening after the whole celebration? You know that, sir? You know the story?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Anybody knows that statement which his wife said? Macbeth's wife called him silently and said, "What's between you and the throne is King Duncan." That's all she said. He was promoted to be the chief of the army, and he was in the palace of Duncan, the king, and the Macbeth's wife says, "What's between you and the throne is King Duncan. You wipe him off, you push him aside, you become the king." And sadly, he heeded to that advice, and Macbeth goes and assassins King Duncan, kills him. And after the sea, I still remember watching this movie more than 25 years ago. I remember watching it those days. And he kills King Duncan and he has blood all over. He's nobody's purview to this act. Nobody knows that he has done. Silently, he has access to the king's chambers. He goes and kills him and he walks out silently into the quadrangle, and there's a pool of water and he dips his hands into the pool just to clean off that blood. But the hallucinations he's having, he's not able to get rid of the blood in his arms. He's not able to, and he's all constantly seeing blood everywhere. And he goes back and he's constantly doing, his wife says, "What are you doing?" "No, I'm trying to get rid of the blood." "What blood? There's no blood." Thereafter, you must see the play, rest of the play, my God. because of the plot his wife made. She goes, literally she goes mad. And then the famous words of Macbeth, he said, I did not kill Duncan, I killed my own sleep. I killed my own sleep. I killed my own sleep. Macbeth couldn't sleep thereafter. The worst of all sins you can commit is to be ungrateful to a benefactor. King Duncan was his benefactor. And you go and stab him to grab that which doesn't belong to you. That's the worst of all sins you can commit. And he did that, and he didn't sleep thereafter. So any one of you who have sleepless nights, watch out. There could be no selfish mind will allow you to sleep. Ramji, a selfish mind constantly produces mental agitations in the form of insecurity, fear. So you can't sleep.
Yes, sir.
You know, I knew a very well-known businessman long ago here in Hyderabad, and he had only son. And he said those days, he said, I had imported the best car in town. So I imported the best car in the world. I imported, and he said, this car has maximum number of airbags. I remember him saying it. The maximum number of airbags this car has got. And I've imported this car because I don't want my son to have an accident and die in a car crash. And I know my son is fond of driving, and I don't want to lose him. Can you imagine the bhaya he has? He had the money. He has all the money, believe me or not. But he couldn't. And one of the things he used to tell was, he used to call me by name. He's like, I'm saying 20 years ago. Huh? I would have been, I was just in my early 20s. And this was a very elderly person. So he said, you're like my grandson. Yeah. Yes, sir, I'm like a grandson. So he used to say, I can't come. One of the things, he said, I can't come to your classes where you're having. I will send you a driver car, pick you up and drop you back. But you have to come and teach me in my home, to me and my very few family friends and members. But I'm committed, I'll learn. Will you do that? I was never a pujari kind of a thing. You send me something, I'll come and do. But because of his genuine interest and his perseverance, I said, okay, I'll do that. And one of the things I remember he used to say is, Vinay, I can't sleep. He used to say this, I can't sleep. And then after a few 6-8 months of the classes, and I remember he used to tell everybody, now I'm able to sleep. Thanks to the knowledge, I'm able to sleep, I'm able to sleep. I wish I had recorded this. I had proof. You don't believe me. This is actual vivid experience. I have people. So this, what I am saying, is not a concoction. It actually exists in lives of people. Sadly, sir, I don't know what it is. The beauty of it is I am so convincingly convincing you of something I do not know. You may say, sir, how is it you know so well of all this? I do not know. I have never experienced insecurity. I'm not trying to impress you all. I don't know what it is. Theoretically, and I'm able to relate to lives of people. If I have experienced insecurity, then I communicate understandable, but I don't know what it is.
But Guruji, what you have just described about the businessman in Malaysia, is it not
Hyderabad, sir.
attachment?
Hyderabad.
Oh, in Hyderabad. Okay. I thought,
20 years ago.
okay. No, is it not?
Maybe more.
Is it not a manifestation of his attachment to his son?
What is attachment?
Attachment is that you become very possessive about something. Okay, it could be son, it could be wife, it could be property, whatever it is. Yeah.
How do you become possessive? Possessive is the effect. What's the cause? Which is attachment? Attachment is the cause. You become possessive. That's the effect. Okay. What is the other name of attachment or other what definition of attachment? Attachment is nothing but a selfish relationship with the object or being.
Right, right.
Which is what exactly we said. Bhaya comes because of your selfish relationship.
Right.
Isn't it, sir?
And what you described about Macbeth happens in corporate quite often. So it's not very uncommon that people stab their benefactors in the back and then try to go up in life. I think not everybody, but I think it is not, we can find that also sometimes. I found it two occasions happening in the organizations where I worked.
That is very far and few, sir. In your long and illustrious career, if you have only come across only 2 cases, it's very few,
because
isn't it?
that is actually a good indication, sir, that there are
Correct.
few people like that, not too many people.
Not that many. No.
Yeah,
You
if there were
all
more
know, you
people,
all would
life
know
would have
well.
been, if there were more people, life would have been terrible. So at least there were very few like that.
But good always attracts good, sir, because you only attracted the good. Therefore, not many around you. No, I think it does, as you mentioned, it does prevail every part of life, everywhere. You wouldn't want to hear what happens in a spiritual field.
Yeah,
Same thing happens. Same thing happens.
Sure.
You only change the garb.
Yeah, correct.
The software has not changed. Only the hardware has changed.
Yeah.
So
Even the
software
biggest
takes time.
Even the biggest scandal we are reading about nowadays in the newspapers, the NSC scandal, is all manifestation of greed, selfishness, unethical practices, and everything wrong with what a human being can do was done. So it is very common, sir. And not, I mean, again, I have to correct myself. It's not very common, but it is there. It is not uncommon.
Right. Thank you, Ji. So I got a question from a comment from someone. I would not want to take that person's name. I'm being told that you're deviating from the Gita and speaking worldly things. If I didn't read, you wouldn't be privy to it, but I choose to read it. Even few of such thoughts spoil the atmosphere, whether on involved in such activity or not. Hope you're able to absorb this comment. I'm very much able to absorb the comment being sent to you alone. Now everybody knows it. I am not deviating from the Gita. I'm discussing a question which cropped up in the Gita class last week, which was mentioned, and I'm only elaborating on the points. And I would not want to spoil the sanctity of this class. Never, not at all. That is committing a sin. And I would not, as a guru, the onus is on me to uphold that sanctity. So with due respects, I don't think we are deviating, nor the sanctity or the atmosphere is being compromised. All right. And I'm very particular not to get drawn away into a discussion and lose track. So I'm very much on track. Aren't we on track? We're discussing the question. So the desire, modifications, when it's fulfilled, we said is, what are the 4 things we said so far, Ajima?
Hari Om Guruji. That is, dissatisfaction is the first one, arrogance is the second, envy and fear. These are the modifications.
Envy and fear, right. And when the desire is unfulfilled, you develop instant emotion of anger. And you know what anger people can get into. What anger does. Yesterday, literally, I was short of losing my jaw. I would next time on I'm going to wear, these boxing people will wear protective gear. No, I'm going to wear that and go onto the road. There was a freak incident that happened yesterday. As I was driving, a fellow who almost would have knocked me off because of his absolute reckless driving and overtaking. So I kept honking to alert that person. What you're doing is not right. And I kept moving on. Then he started chasing me. He blocked my car on the highway, busy highway in the evening. He blocked the car. Both young guys come out, pull open my door, almost getting into a fist fight. I only said, Namaskar. I am only trying to tell you, be careful, you guys. What are you trying to do? You could have easily knocked me and you could have been in trouble and I could have been in trouble. Why are you driving like that? The moment I put my hands, Namaskaram, and told, automatically they gave the key back to me and they walked off. Imagine if I had got out of the car and got into argument with them, I would have been with a big bandage here, because no way I would have dealt with those fellows, because those fellows were young, I don't know, when is it last they combed their hair also? One fellow was doing like this all the time. I said, what is going on, you fellows? You fellows make a mistake and then I'm trying to tell you all, be careful, and you want to get into a fight. Anger, so much rage. Road rage, as they call. What is it? Anger is a modification of emotion. It arises from desire, and the intensity of anger is directly proportional to the desire you have. Stronger the desire, stronger the agitation, mild desire, minor irritation. And what anger could do to you, read chapter 2, verses 62 and 63, which talks of the ladder of fall, which was mentioned in the previous class. The previous class, there was a reference to the list of verses till the 7th chapter, where the likes and dislikes are your own enemies. Okay, so the first we said desire is itself an agitation. The second point, Gayatri Ma, what did we say?
Or unfulfilled desire.
Before that.
Anger, the proportion of desire is to the proportion of the anger.
No. First point I said, desire itself is an agitation. It is inversely proportional to the fulfillment within. Then we said a second point. What was that? Did we not say that? Ramji?
Second point was desire is the platform or root cause of all emotions. Unseen desires manifest as emotions. Okay.
Correct. The second point we said is unseen desire manifest as a seen emotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we got into the desire and modifications.
Yeah.
Okay. And then thirdly, the third point which I'm commenting now is the desires, when all these agitations put together, creates a delusion, a complete delusion, gets you into this smriti bhramshad buddhinashat pranashyati. See, the ladder of fall which I mentioned. So this all, not only it leads you to a state of sin, it causes mental agitation, which is sin, and causes delusion, point 3. And lastly, this above all, desire and its modifications are a barrier between you and God. They separate you from the divinity. They block it. So you can't see the truth. You can't see the self. So not only your life becomes sinful, nor would you be able to create an opportunity to look at the truth on self. And the sad part is, all of us are infested with desires. If this be the case, how do you deal with it? How do you address these desires? I think that was sort of the second question which Ramji you had asked, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is that what that you had said? Rajima has typed it out. Is that your question, sir? Can you see
Yeah,
that in the
selfish
chat box?
Yeah. What is the difference between selfish, unselfish, and selfless desires? Is it that one?
Yeah, I think prior to that, she also comments that said that unselfish and selfless desires are harmless.
Ah, correct.
Selfish desires are monstrous. I
Correct.
remember using
Correct.
the word the monster.
Correct. Correct.
Talking of the monster, we also talked about a quote. The jealousy is a green-eyed monster. It mocks the meat it feeds on. So before we get to this point, comment on that. In fact, jealousy is also an emotion. Ramji, just hold on. I want to ask
Yeah.
Sanjay. Sanjay, what is jealousy? When does one experience this emotion, jealous?
Jealousy is experienced when we see another having something that we desire.
Like I can say, I'm jealous about your voice. You've got a sweet voice. What, Rajima?
It's the British accent, Guruji.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get into Sanjay's mind because he said you become jealous at people, something they have that you don't have, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, how would you, if somebody comes with a jealous mindset to you, how would you philosophize to him?
How would I philosophize to him is his belief that what I have will bring him completeness or fullness is incorrect. It's it comes back to that perceived void, and something that I have will fill that void that he has. But that's a falsehood. That's not real.
Very real, unreal pace, ready? I want that. You understood? You follow Tamil, huh? No, what I'm saying is to keep your philosophy of reality, unreality with you. I want that is my argument. How would you satisfy him? Because you're talking from a highly philosophical stance. Even though I said philosophically, how would you view it? Could we not say to him, man, if that guy has got something which you desire, you must understand he deserved it because he has worked for it. You also work for it, you'll get it. Why are you sitting being jealous, wasting your time? You strive for it, you'll get it. So you can still encourage him on the right foot to take the right action forward to get that object. Simply sitting and desiring is not going to get what others deserve. You deserve it. How do you deserve it? Strive for it, man. That's all. Yeah, I'm just trying to bring it down to a palatable level, because if a person comes with jealousy, you can't, even though you're right to say that the mindset, he thinks he'll be happy with something which he doesn't have, which is again falling a trap to the mind, which is very rightly said as well. But you can also take this perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the quote from, I can't recall from which play. I couldn't get to it, but it's in Shakespeare. He said, jealousy is a green-eyed monster. So if you have jealousy, it's like a green-eyed monster within you. What does it do? It mocks the meat it feeds on. Now, explain the second half of the quote. It mocks the meat. Mocks means what? Mocks the meat. Laughs at it. And feeds on. So it's entertaining itself. It has some fun with it. And then it consumes it, isn't it? Have you ever seen, because I see most of the time this National Geographic and things, so I get these elements from there. But if you do watch it, you'll know. Have you ever seen a mother cheetah training its little one how to kill and hunt? The first few times, until these leopards become experts and become self-sufficient and they move away, what the mother does is, mother catches, let's say, a deer fawn. It catches it, but it doesn't kill it. It lets the little one chase it, because they are fast enough. They chase it and then try to kill it. So the mother teaches it, but till it kills, it's actually playing with the little one, with the little fawn. So there are moments of discomfort as a cameraman. You know that it's going to die anytime, but this cheetah, they all are literally playing with that. And then the mother comes and just strangles it, then becomes food. And all of this happens in a matter of few minutes. You see it, it's all edited and you see it. Now, same thing Shakespeare is saying, jealousy is a monster. It mocks the meat it feeds on. The question is, who is the meat here?
Desire? Mind?
No, sir. Okay. Sanjay and Ramji, hold on. Sitaramji. What is the meat here? Yeah, could you try now?
Yeah, I think the meat is the person or the thing through which it's getting fed. Like the monster may be being fed by somebody and it's mocking the person who's feeding that meat to the monster.
No, but the monster here is jealousy. Yeah?
So
just like the cat entertains itself and destroys that little deer, it becomes meat. Jealousy also does the same. The question is,
all the objects which it's jealous of. So when it acquires that, it mocks that itself. Because after having acquired that, you're looking for more.
That is jealousy. Jealousy is you feel, as Sanjay said, you desire something which somebody has. But what does that jealousy, if I am entertaining jealousy, that second half of the quote is telling me what jealousy does to me.
The jealousy would be the very object of the object of which you are jealous of. Like,
yeah, I could be jealous of something, but what does that jealousy do to me?
Oh, it consumes you.
First, it entertains you, sir. That's the point here. It doesn't agitate you. It maybe there's undercurrent of agitation, but when you are jealous of someone, it entertains you. It mocks the meat and it feeds on. So the meat here is you. So jealousy is the meat. You become the meat. You are being destroyed by jealousy, but the jealousy entertains you and then it destroys you. It mocks the meat it feeds on, like a cat would. If you see typically in a domesticated cat would, if you see it plays with the rat, it doesn't strangle and kill it at one go. It plays with it, it entertains itself, and then strangles and kills and eats it. Exactly the same way, the jealousy that you entertain, it entertains you, and then ultimately it mocks the meat it feeds on. It destroys you and kills you. So any negative emotion is very easy to express and very satisfying in the beginning, isn't it? But the later effect is destroying, it's destructive in nature. But the contrary is to entertain a positive emotion of forgiveness is very difficult to cultivate that. Very difficult to cultivate any positive emotion. Very easy to slip into negative emotion. That's what jealousy entertains you and destroys you. It's a very beautiful way in the play Othello. Thanks, Gayatrima. From the play Othello, it comes out there. Jealousy is a green-eyed monster. It mocks the meat it feeds on. So you are the meat. Jealousy is the cat. Imagine you are the rat. The jealousy is the cat. The cat entertains you and then destroys you. Going with the example. Are you able to relate to it, Sanjay?
Yes. Yes, I am.
So therefore, beware of the green-eyed monster. Isn't it? So you can add this emotion into the list of emotions arising from desire. All of that causes sin, mental agitation, creates illusion. Okay. Now, getting to the question, Ramji, you were clarifying unselfish and selfless are harmless. Selfish desires are monstrous. What is the difference between selfish, unselfish, and selfless? In fact, I would like to change the question with your permission.
Sure, sir.
Rather than getting into the difference between the three, we should perhaps, I thought you were, if I can recall rightly, you said, how do I get out of the clutch of these desires?
Yeah, of course, that is a very fundamental question. But I think what I was trying to say is that having a selfless or unselfish desires is not a bad thing, because that actually helps you to grow spiritually. Whereas selfish desires and attachments and then various other things which go with that are the ones which are pulling you down, which are pulling you down from your journey.
Okay.
Because the discussion was that all desires are bad. So that's where actually I think I asked this. A person operates on likes and dislikes, and the world does not satisfy those likes and dislikes because the world is not designed to do so. So that causes delusion.
Yes.
That was the point which was made. But if my desires or my desires and likes are for a general good, not for myself but for others, isn't it that is also a delusion? So
it also is bad. Ultimately, it's bad because the ultimate goal is to get rid of desires. But how do I get there? I have to get there from changing the nature of my desires from selfish to unselfish and from unselfish to selfless.
Correct.
Right. So I have to change the nature. Certainly, you have to do that, But sir, if I have an unselfish desire, which is to serve this knowledge, and let's say there are not many takers of this knowledge, would it not cause disappointment in me?
It will. It depends on how much attached you are to that.
Correct. Which is, therefore is, you should never act on desire. Even if unselfish desire. Selfless, obviously, a different category altogether. You may want to do good, but there are no takers. You may sit and complain about it. No, you can't. Well, that's what it is, man. It might nobody appreciates what you're doing. Or only very few appreciate. There's a matter of fact. Take it and then move on. You can say, I'm not happy about it.
Yes, sir. But some of the things, for example, I mean, just sorry to prolong the discussion, but some of the things people do may last for generations to come. And even if there are not many followers, for example, if Adi Shankaracharya had thought that way, and he didn't travel all over the country 3 times and propagate his philosophy.
14 times, sir.
Yeah. So
not 3 times.
14 times, huh?
14 times on bullock cart and foot.
Oh, I thought only 3 times. Okay. Okay. That's
one of us are right, sir. One of
no, maybe. I mean, you have to be right. I may not be right.
No.
But what I was saying was that when he was doing it, or whatever he did centuries back, he is benefiting all of us now. Perhaps around him that time there were very few people, and maybe it was not something which would have motivated him. I don't know what he went through, but I'm just saying that some of them will have an impact for generations to come. Okay, even if there are no immediate beneficiaries around.
No, absolutely. What drives an action opposed to desire is a higher cause.
Yeah.
You know? Once you have that higher cause, then there's a greater drive. You know, I had some points to clarify, but I don't think we have the time left. Maybe we'll briefly come back. Perhaps I want you all to think in this, how to, given, since we have so heavily discussed today about the desire and the modifications, how it consumes all of us. The question is, how does one get out of the clutches of the desires? Because if we do not find a way out, we are left high and dry, because we are again back to square one, constantly being inflicted by the desires and the modifications. The question is, how does one get out from the clutches of these desires? I was very sorry, the person who commented. I would connect with that person independently, but the objective of this satsang is not to drag, elongate, or be repetitive, but is to entertain a healthy discussion and a dialogue. You know, so there's no not that we are intentionally extending the chapter. So that is not the intention at all. It's to be fruitful in the discussion, whatever we have, you know. I would connect with the person, but just to make you all comfortable, and you shouldn't become restless that we are not heading anywhere. Don't worry. Only where we're heading is inward. It's not the length of study that matters, it's the depth of study. And once you do that, all you do is you go inward and you reach your desired objective. But if I were to conduct chapters after chapters in a matter of no time, I would have covered the Gita much sooner than what we are taking time. But then it only will make you more eloquent, only informative, but not transformed. So there lies the whole accent and the uniqueness of this platform, you know. So again, appeal to all your reason to think along what we are embarked on. All right. Thank you. We'll come back. Thank you. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.